the Matrix is a world that has been made to purposely deceive you, while at the same time it influences you to contribute satanic energy to help establish a new world order. It is extremely important that we wake up from our slumber and come into the real world. Today, with the world on lockdown from this COVID-19 pandemic, it's easy to see that if we are not awake, we will be easily herded into their new world order and make a pledge to our adversary that we are warned we should not make. In breaking out of the Matrix, there is one certain activity that you must do. It's an activity that we have been conditioned not to do. That activity is ask questions. If something does not make sense, then you must ask why, and then work to get the answer. Like in the week of April 17th, the stock market had a steady climb, but yet the whole world is on lockdown and 21 million people are out of work. In the Matrix, the people just see the stock market climbing and say, oh, things must not be that bad. But a question in the real world is, with all of these negative factors, why is the stock market climbing? And then when fishing, you can understand that the Federal Reserve, with all of their money printing, quantitative easing, and asset buying, are injecting money into this market. The stock market is just not real. It's artificial. At that point, the program they are pushing on you will not work. It started with the simple activity of asking, why? And in this world, if you go back into asking this question of why, in time you could really break free from all the mind control games they have been pushing on you. The Matrix is not as old as you like to think. Well, the overall control aspect is very old. This world and its assets have been in control by a small majority for a long period of time. But that shouldn't be a surprise understanding world history with there being kings, queens, emperors, and popes. During those times, people knew that they were ruled and governed by a small few. But today, in this world that is said to be a democracy, where the people are said to have a voice, this may not be something we all understand. The overall control structure that we live in today is something that was molded and created over a period of about a century and a half, 150 years. And over this time, they built a system that all generations alive today have been born into. It controls our minds completely around all aspects. Edward Bernays, who once was labeled as the father of public relations, who was named one of the 100 most influential Americans of the 20th century by Life magazine, said this in his 1928 book called Propaganda. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is the logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as a smoothly functioning society. In almost every act of our daily lives, whether in the sphere of politics or business, in our social conduct or our ethical thinking, we are dominated by the relatively small number of persons who understand the mental processes and social patterns of the masses. It is they who pull the wires which control the public mind. Said that an important element in our democratic society is an intended manipulation of our organized habits and opinions, what we do and what we think. And those that do this make up an invisible government, which is the true ruling class. And this is who we are molded and guided by. Men we have never heard of that control and dictate almost every act of our daily lives. This was a quote from a very well-established man of this world in a book written right before the Great Depression. It was almost 100 years ago. And if you don't think what he wrote is reality of today, then you are trapped in the Matrix. There is an unseen hand that controls this world. Today, in real time, I cannot tell you their names and who they are exactly. We know family names, but we don't know the individuals. They are hidden behind the scenes, but control all the doors of access in the world. If you don't believe that that is possible, just look at this article from The Guardian that explains an Oxfam report that is done pretty much every year. Last year in 2019, the report shows that the world's 26 richest people own as much as the poorest 50%. Basically, 26 people control 50% of the world's wealth. 26 out of 7 billion plus people. That is a ridiculous gap in wealth. Anyone that thinks that it's impossible that there are a group of people that can run this world just aren't using common sense.
Enough play. When you think of secret societies, you think of groups of rich old men, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, sitting around a ridiculously long table, all trying to top each other with their best diabolical laugh. It makes for a fun cartoon, but in reality, such societies and secretive meetings do exist, and one is going on right now behind closed doors in England. The Bilderberg Group is a meeting of the most influential people in Europe and North America. Wall Street investors, business moguls, politicians, royalty, they're all coming together and keeping the media and everyone else out. What are they discussing? What are they plotting? Doesn't the public have a right to know? Well, apparently no, though what they chat about could very well end up impacting your 401k or who knows what else.
Security was tight today at the Grove Hotel in this leafy area north of London. 140 members of the global elite arrived here for a top-secret, hush-hush, off-the-record conference in the English countryside.
If these 26 people pulled out all their money in the stock markets around the world, common sense would show that by itself will cause what we would label as an economic collapse. But these 26 men are not even what I'm talking about. People put in front of you to distract you. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg are all known people. You can see the power that they hold. They are very visible. What I said and what Edward Bernays said was there was an unseen hand. Like Bernays said, the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. Like Bernays said, the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, Our taste formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Stop